In this lesson video, we will cover the techniques for joining and splitting cells. But before that, first, we need to discuss text overflow. If I select cell J4, then input a long text in this cell, I'm just pasting lorem ipsum text here, just for example. As we can see, by default, the text flows out of the cell when the cell size is too small compared to the text. So, if you ever see a long text like this in Excel, the text actually exists inside the first cell, which is J4 in our case. To prove this, we can check that cells K4, L4, M4, and so on have no data at all. If we select J4 again, and now we change the text alignment to center, the text will flow equally to the right and to the left of cell J4. Now notice if I change the alignment to the right, part of the text is covered by this cell. Why is this happening? This is because each cell prioritizes the original data of a cell over the data that are flowing from other cells. Cell G4 has data, therefore the text from cell J4 yields and so becomes blocked behind it. As we discussed earlier, this behavior only applies to text data. For numbers, if you have numerical data that are too long, each cell will convert them into hashmark symbols. Let's say you want to create a title for this table, cells 2020, right above and in the center of this table. What do you think that we need to do? First, of course, we have to insert a new row above row 1. We can right-click on row 1, then select Insert. The next challenge is in which cell we have to type in the text. We may just select cell D1 because it is positioned in the middle. We can type the text cells 2020 and change the text alignment to center. We can also make the text bold and increase the font size to 28, for example. Now, the text appears to flow out of the cell. With this method, yes, the title looks good at first glance. But imagine if one day you have to change the size of the columns on the left or right. Perhaps there is a new salesman whose first name is very long. Or maybe you have to insert a new column, for example. Then, in these scenarios, people will start noticing that the title of this table is not really in the center. This is why we need the cell merging feature. To make the title exactly at the center of the table, you can merge all the cells above into a single cell. To do this, select all the cells. Then, in the home menu, you can see the merge command. If you click on this little arrow button, it turns out that there are 3 types of commands for merging cells, and 1 command to separate them. We will discuss all of these one by one. But before that, first, I want to change these cells to be left aligned. This is so later, we can see the difference between each command better. The first command is merge and center. If you use this, all the cells that we selected will merge into one and automatically adjust the text alignment to center. So now we have a perfectly centered table title. It will still be centered even if later you resize one of the columns. So in general, the command merge and center is suitable for creating table headers. Let me undo this for now. The difference between the merge and center command and this merge cells command is that each cell will not change the text alignment. It will just use the existing text alignment. If the initial setting is left aligned, after merging, the result will be left aligned also. Of course, we can change it manually later if we want it to be centered. Nonetheless, if you want to align to the center from the beginning, the command merge and center can save you a bit of time. Before we discuss the next merge command, which is merge across, first, we need to discuss the implications of merge cells on data or formulas. Just an example, if we select cells G3 to K3, then select merge and center from the home ribbon menu, or you can also use the mini toolbar by right-clicking and then clicking this button. As we can see, each cell will combine them without any problems and without any confirmation. Likewise, in the previous title cells, if there is only one data in the center cell, while other selected cells are empty, if we merge them, That data will survive and be used in the final result. But suppose we select these 6 cells, and each of these cells has its own data. If we perform a merge, each cell will display a confirmation or a warning that only the data in the upper left cell will survive. Everything else will be permanently deleted. If we click OK, only the number 87 appears as the data. So, this is one thing you need to pay attention to when merging cells. Now, let's discuss the merge across command. If we select 8 cells like this, for example, we have the name of the salesman on the left and the name of the product on the right. The merge across command will merge these cells but separate them per row. Let's just try this. Each cell will confirm for each of the rows we want to merge. This is because in every cell we want to merge, there is data. We just keep clicking OK until all the rows are merged. And we can see the result like this. Again, merge across works by combining cells per row and not all of them as in the example above. One thing that you need to keep in mind when merging cells is the condition of the new cell address will use the previous top left cell. So this cell is now A1. This cell is now E4. And each of these cells uses column C as the base address, not column D. The last thing I want to discuss is splitting the cell that we previously joined together. To split or unmerge a cell, just select the cell, click this arrow button, then select Unmerge Cells here. We can see that the title text, whose data was in cell D1, is now in cell A1. Another example, we can select this cell, click this button again, then select Unmerge Cells. We can also see that the number 87 is now located in the upper left corner cell, and all the previous data in these cells are gone. Finally, we can select all these cells, then press the Unmerge Cells button again. Essentially, we can perform unmerged cells on multiple cells at once. And as we can see, each of these cells stores the data in the left side cell.